We're here with for the story of a television legend, a never before told story of a television legend named Florence Agnes Henderson. This woman, this woman was an American actress with a career spanning 6 decades. She is best known. She is best known for her starring role as Carol and Tyler Martin Brady on the ABC sitcom The Brady Bunch. Henderson also appeared in film as well as on stage and hosted several like what she hosted several long running cooking and variety shows. It was over the years she had appeared as a guest on many scripted and unscripted talk and reality show television programs, and as a panelist on numerous game shows that's been around for decades. She was a contestant. She was a contestant on this dancing show. It's called Dancing with the Stars. It's based on you know actors and TV legends dancing with numerous people. But in 2010, this woman was a contestant on Dancing with the Stars, and she's older than one of her dancing partners on the show. Henderson hosted her own talk show. It was named after her. It's called the Florence Henderson. Yeah, it's called the Florence Henderson Show, a cooking show that she have already done. It's called Who's Cooking with Florence Henderson on retirement living television. But during the years leading up to her death at the age of 82, that was on Thanksgiving. That was on Thanksgiving. Uh, that was November 24th of 2016 from heart failure. I mean, she died of a heart attack. She had two husbands that she later married and divorced from 50s to the 80s, all the way from the 80s to the 2000s. Well, her husband John Cavis had died in 2002, long before her. So let me explain to you about Florence Agnes Henderson. She was the youngest of 10 children. She was born on February 14th, 1934, in Dale, Indiana, a small town in the southwestern part of the state. She was the daughter of Elizabeth, elder, a homemaker who's been working hard to the bone, and her father, her mother Elizabeth, elder, who was a homemaker, uh, Joseph Henderson. Her father was used to be a tobacco sharecropper. You know, during the Great Depression back in the old days, she was taught to sing at the age of 2 by her mother Elizabeth, who had a repertoire of 50 songs by the time she was 8 years old. By the time she was 8 years old, her family called her Florency. By the age of 12, she was singing at local grocery stores around around the city of Dale. So Henderson graduated from St. Francis Academy in Owensboro, Kentucky in 1951, and shortly thereafter went to New York City. to New York City. It's NYC, New York City. She went there shortly thereafter, enrolling enrolling in the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. She was an alumna initiate of the Alpha Chi chapter of Delta Zeta sorority. Henderson started her career on the stage, performing in musicals such as the touring production of Oklahoma and South Pacific at the Lincoln Center. She debuted on Broadway. She debuted on Broadway in the musical Wish You Were Here in 1952 and later starred on Broadway. This is her in 1955 with William Tabbert. That was at a Broadway production of Fanny. Fanny. Oh, hell, why the hell she ain't mentioned this shit? Well, she ain't mentioned this shit. Okay, and later starred on Broadway. She was starred on Broadway with in the long running 1954 musical of Fanny, just like one that's like the picture. That was in right after it came in. The long running musical Fanny. It was a 1954 musical. Fanny. It had 888 performances. The performances like 888. Uh, in which that she originated the title role. Henderson appeared with Gordon McRae. This this Gordon McRae, who was a an actor and a singer and a television and radio host. He was a host. His real name was Albert McRae. In the Oklahoma segment of the 19-minute television special General Foods 25th anniversary show, A Salute to Rogers and Hammerstein, 1954. She later appeared in this. What's it called? The Abbey and the Nymph. It was an episode in the 1950s TV series. It's called I Spy. Not to be confused with the 1960s series of the same name. She also portrayed as Meg March in the CBS TV musical adaptation of Little Women, which have aired in October was it October of the 16th, 1958. My my uncle wasn't even around in those years when these shows came out. Uh, Henderson Henderson appeared in like two episodes of The United States Steel Hour. She portrayed Mary Jane in an episodic adaptation of The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Yes, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, which have aired on the was it November 20th? Oh yeah, it was in the late 1950s. I think it was November 20th, 1957. She also appeared in The Family Alliance, an episodic adaptation of a short story from A Harvest of Stories, a 1956 what is it? Short or whatever you call it. It was by this woman who goes by the name of Dorothy Canfield. It was Dorothy Fisher. Dorothy Canfield Fisher. Well, that was already been aired since June 4th, 1958. Henderson Henderson along with Bill Hayes. With Bill Hayes appeared in these Oldsmobile commercials. He had the Oldsmobile commercials that was from 1958 through 1961 on the Patty Page show. They have the American TV series that was ran from 1955 to 1956. It was it used to be aired in a 15-minute time slot with two two commercial advertisement breaks for sponsors, including Oldsmobile. That was in the series. But why would these two appear in an Oldsmobile commercial that was from the 50s to through the 60s? That was on a show. It was on a TV series. It's called the Patty Page Show. The Patty Page Show that was for which Oldsmobile was the sponsor for that show. Meanwhile, in 1959, she sang "Don't Let a Be Back Get Away." In Good News About Olds, Good News About Olds, in industrial musical for Oldsmobile. Bill Hayes and you know what I'm saying Bill Hayes and she also gave a musical performance on the January 13th, 1960 broadcast of The Tonight Show. It's not The Tonight Show, it was before The Tonight Show. It was Tonight, starring Jack Parr. It was Jack Parr. Henderson also, that's what I say about Henderson. She also appeared on Broadway in The Girl Who Came to Supper. It was a 1963 uh, uh, Broadway musical that's all put into a film. It's all put into a film or something. But it's like a musical or something. It's probably some sort of musical. That was before it got turned into a movie. So in 1962, she won the Sarah Siddons Award for her work in Chicago theater. In the same year, became the first woman to guest host the Tonight Show. This is the old Tonight Show. Well, this was long before Jimmy Fallon took over. Uh, in the period after Jack Parr left as the show's host, and before this man who had been hosting that talk show ever since Parr left is Johnny Carson, who had to be John William Carson. It was begin Parr's 30 years as the show's longest uh, serving host in October of 1962. October of 1962, she also joined in the ranks. What did Henderson do? She also joined the ranks of what was then called the Today Girl. It's called the Today Girl. I think I heard it. It was NBC's. It was on NBC's long-running morning show, uh, doing weather and light news, a position also once held by the late Barbara Walters. It was held by the late Barbara Walters. Rest in peace. Let me tell you about this woman. This woman was an American broadcast journalist and TV personality. Okay, rest in peace, Barbara Walters. Uh, Henderson gave later musical performances on Parr's subsequent talk show in 1963, including the January 25th and February 22nd broadcasts, two broadcasts that she had performed, but she had performed in I think she performed in the May 19th, 1963 broadcast of The Voice of Firestone. The Voice of Firestone. It was an old radio and TV program that was of classical music. But it was originally titled the Firestone Hour. This before it became The Voice of Firestone. But this broadcast was alongside a baritone named let me see. His name is Mario Serini, who happened to be an Italian baritone who have sang leading roles leading roles at the New York Metropolitan Opera for many years, let alone decades. Let alone decades. She also, yes, I'm gonna explain this to you. Henderson also released her albums under it was under a record label. It's called RCA Victor. It was an old record company. It's called RCA Victor. It was before it became RCA Records as a part of her music career. Her most widely recognized role was as Carol Brady in the Brady Bunch, which aired on ABC from 1969 until 1974. Henderson's best friend, who was known in the Partridge Family TV series, is Shirley Jones. Is Shirley Mae Jones? Uh, had turned down the role. She turned down the role but the following year she accepted the similar role of a mother of five children named Shirley Partridge in the Partridge Family, which aired from 1970. It was aired right after the Brady Bunch. Uh, it was the Partridge Family was an old TV show. See, the one person who have created this concept, they have to be Bernard Slade. Bernard Slade was responsible for the creation of that show. But that show, the Partridge Family, that show has been aired, which have been aired from 1970 to 1974. It'll be off the air around the same breath as the Brady Bunch. So primarily owning her own role, owning her role primarily. She's primarily this woman. I mean, I'll tell you about this here. Primarily owning to her role on the Brady Bunch as Carol Ann Tyler Martin Brady, Henderson was ranked by TV Land and Entertainment Weekly and is number 54 on the list of the 100 greatest TV icons. An avid game show fan, Henderson was a frequent panelist on the original version of the Hollywood Squares game show and made occasional appearances on the $25,000 Pyramid. Her other game show appearances including Password, the original match game What's My Line? What's My Line as a panelist and a mystery guest. To Tell the Truth, I've Got a Secret. Snap Judgment. Personality. The Magnificent Marble Machine, and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. She also appeared alongside her Brady Bunch co-star, the late uh, John Reeds Jr., also known as Robert Reed. on the John Davidson hosted version of the Hollywood Squares, uh, and teamed with Reed along with their co-stars Marie McCormick, who used to play as Marsha Brady, Christopher Knight, who used to play as Peter Brady, and Susan Olsen, who had portrayed. Let me go to Susan and Susan Olsen, who had portrayed as Cindy Brady on one of the original Family Affair, not Family Affair, one of the original Family Feud's All Star Weeks, where they finished in second place. Henderson was the spokeswoman for Western Cooking Oil from 1974. This was after the Brady Bunch was canceled, all the way to like 1996. During that time, she hosted a cooking show on TNN. It was there's no more. It was no more. Now it became the Paramount Network. Now it became the Paramount Network. So uh yeah, this woman hosted a cooking show during that time that was on TNN. It's called Country Kitchen. It's called Country Kitchen, and she did advertisements for Prange's a Wisconsin department store chain. She played Diane DeMarzo in the season 2, episode 11, uh, The Love Boat. It's called Captain's Cup Story, 1978. Henderson had co-hosted the short-lived NBC morning talk show called Later Today. That was from 1999 to 2000 with Jody Applegate and Asha Blake who was a who happens to be an Emmy Award winning TV news journalist. But in the 2000s, she was a spokeswoman for Polydent dentures. In 2003, Henderson seemed to poke fun at her wholesome image by appearing in a Pepsi Twist commercial. It was a lemon flavored cola marketed by PepsiCo as an alternative to the regular Pepsi uh, caffeinated drinks. They're like caffeinated drinks, so they're like cold drinks. Whereas the TV commercial that she had appeared with legendary musician John Michael Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah, the the guy who's behind the Crazy Train song with Black Sabbath, the heavy metal band. Yeah, it was known for yelling Sharon's name. You know what I mean? I don't want to yell it because I don't want to get canceled. You know what I'm saying? I don't want the people on YouTube to hear me making fun of Ozzy. So Ozzy Osbourne, man, she was known. This guy was known for yelling his wife's name in multiple occasions on their their reality show, along with him and his wife Sharon Osbourne and their two children, Jack and Kelly. Shit, what do you mean, man? John Michael Ozzy Osbourne it would have to be an English singer, songwriter, and a TV personality. This guy is a legend. He's like the GOAT of the shit. He's the GOAT of the shit, the greatest of all time. But Henderson also appeared with her on and off screen television children, as she did with Christopher Knight in the reality TV series My Fair Brady. This one, My Fair Brady. It was a TV series It was a reality TV series that BH1 used to air. Uh, it goes back to where Christopher Knight played the Peter Brady character on the Brady Bunch, and it goes back to that followed within. And you have Adrian Curry, who had won the first season of America's Next Top Model show. He used to be on television, but I respected what Christopher Knight has done. Christopher Knight, I respected what this man had done. Okay, we're going in, and Henderson was also in season six, the sixth season of BH1's reality TV show here. It's called The Surreal Life. The Surreal Life, it was like an American reality TV series that records a group of celebrities as they live together in Glenn Campbell's former mansion in the Hollywood Hills. That mansion used to be for a guy named Glenn Campbell. Glenn Campbell used to own that mansion. Why I gotta go clean up the mansion and then give it and then throw it and then invite a couple of cast members on it? That's used up for reality shows like The Real World and Road Rules and all this bullshit. The fuck? What fucking you think I'm good? I'll expect. TV shows are just a norm. Now you got reality TV shows coming in the early 90s. Now you have all this bullshit. You had The Real World and now all this bullshit that come out. All this shit's coming out the fucking ass. It's coming out the ass. All these shows are coming straight out the ass. Right there. In the beginning of the in the mid 1990s, that's where Henderson was performing a song. It's called "God Bless America" at the Indianapolis 500, accompanied by the Purdue All-American Marching Band at the request of the Holman George family, the owners of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and the friends of Henderson's. She appeared in the Weird Al Yankovic video. While she appeared in the video, that was like a parody uh, music video. That was from Weird Al Yankovic. There's oh there it goes. There's Weird Al. Alfred Matthew Yankovic. While she appeared in this man's video for Amish Paradise. That was like a parody of Gangsta's Paradise in 1995. That was performed by Coolio, the late Coolio. But that video was out in 2002. It was like a parody video. Uh it was like a spoof of Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise in '95. But Henderson did made a memorable guest appearance on the in an improvisational comedy show that was on for like ever since it got on the air in back in the late 2000s. It's called Whose Line Is It Anyway? That's what it's named is. There's a question mark right there beneath it. It says, Whose line is it anyway? Participating in an on-screen kisses with comedian and cast member of the Drew Carey Show, Ryan Lee Stiles. Well, he used to play as Louis Kaniski on the Drew Carey Show, but he later guest appeared on uh two and a half men as Herb. Uh that that shit. Oh damn. I think there's one part when he was in relationship when Herb was in relationship with Marion Hinkle's character, Judith Harper. Judith Harper who had the Jake Harper's mother. his lovely and beautiful, sweet mother, and one of one of who had to be Angus Jones's co-stars, one of Johnson's co-stars, alongside uh John Cryer, who's been a legend, what I mean, in movies, and another guy I explained that that Henderson was participating in the on-screen kisses with a legendary Colin Mockery. That's Colin Mockery. I seen him on the show on numerous occasions. I used to see this man on television on numerous occasions. From 2007 to 2009, Henderson co-hosted the daily talk show Living Live with former Designing Women star Meshach Taylor. Let me get his name. This guy, I think I remember so much about him. Yeah, Meshach Taylor. Meshach Taylor's been deceased since 2014. I think he died before he died before Florence Henderson, but he died around that. He died right. I was right after her. What's her name? Her co-star. Uh, Ann Bradford Davis. Ann Bradford Davis. Uh, yeah, she co-hosted. Yeah, between the 2000s, Henderson had co-hosted the daily talk show Living Live with an ex Designing Women star Meshach Taylor, rest in peace, on Retirement Living TV. The show was not revoked. The show was reworked to focus on her and was renamed the Florence Henderson Show. Now see they're going back to that show. It was renamed to that show, but the show was like renamed. The show was nominated for an Emmy Award in 2010. In 2010, on the July 12th, 2010 edition of WWE Raw, Henderson Henderson appeared as the night's guest host. Yeah, she appeared as the night's guest host on that wrestling show. Henderson was one of the 12 celebrities competing on the 11th season of Dancing with the Stars, which premiered on September 20th of 2010. Her professional partner, who was a little younger than she is, I think was name was I think Corky Bellis. What was this guy? Corky Bellis. There's no picture of him. Oh shit. Corky Bellis was a little younger than Florence Henderson. I mean, Mark Alexander Bellis Sr., who's known as Corky, was born in the 1960s. You're dancing with the guy. She's dancing with the guy who was born in the 60s. She was born in the 1930s. Okay, her professional dancing partner was Mark Alexander Corky Ballas Sr., the father of two-time champion Mark uh, Alexander Ballas Jr. Yeah, the father of two-time champion Mark Alexander Ballas Jr. On on October the 19th, 2010, she was the fifth contestant eliminated. Henderson voiced this character Barbara. Cleveland Browns childhood nanny. Yeah, Cleveland Browns childhood nanny. In the episode "The Men in Me" of the Cleveland Show, of the Cleveland Show. Well, that's like a story that was in the cartoon, which originally aired on March the 25th, 2012. The episode features a depressed and confused Cleveland signing a parody version of his show's theme before Barbara interjects and gets Cleveland to realize it does not matter who he is, or who others perceived him to be, as long as he accepts himself. He accepts himself for who and what he is. At the end of the episode, Cleveland says, "Florence Henderson, everyone." Oh shit. Yeah, Cleveland says Florence Henderson. Cleveland said Florence Henderson, everyone. But she played the Barbara character. Why y'all go call out the person who played as Barbara? Seriously, Mike. Seriously, Michael Henry. Stop. Stop calling Florence Henderson now, while Florence is trying to play that Barbara character. Jesus Christ, Mike. But Henderson made a special appearance on a May 11th, 2012, in a special Mother's Day episode of The Price is Right. Uh, what television legend and comedian Drew Carey? Drew Carey, who had a comedian and a television legend, displaying prizes as well as one of the showcases. But in February 2013, she began hosting a cooking show. Who's Cooking with Florence Henderson on Retirement Living TV. Henderson hosted several times at the beauty pageants, Mrs. America and Mrs. World, charity appearances that she had done. But in the 2000s, Henderson became a public benefactor to the Sisters of the Saint Benedict in the Sisters of Saint Benedict in Ferdinand, Indiana. That was a few miles away from where she was from. So some of the sister nuns, there had been early educators of Henderson. They had been early educators of Henderson, where she had appeared in like in a number of their promotional videos and helped in fundraising efforts. She won money for the sisters on the game show The Weakest Link, on a classic television themed episode of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in the early 2000s, winning $32,000 in their name. When Henderson appeared on The Surreal Life, she refused to wear a nun's habit in a comedy skit. Shit. Let me explain it to you people. Henderson is from Indiana. She doesn't want to be a goddamn nun, a sister nun. She don't want to go through this shit with a nun shit, the fucking sister nun thing. She doesn't want to do that in a comedy skit. That's gonna hurt her reputation. And who she is a Broadway actress and a TV actress and a television legend, a true icon. No, she doesn't want to wear a nun's habit in a comedy skit. She doesn't want to wear it. She refused to wear it. She says no to that. The personal life uh started when Henderson had been married twice. She married her first husband, Ira Bernstein, in 1956. In 1956, she married uh, Ira Bernstein, who happened to be her first husband. They have four children together before divorcing in 1985. In 1987, she married her second husband, who happened to be a hypnotherapist a hypnotherapist by the name of Dr. John George Kappas, whom she had met when he treated her for depression and stage fright in the early 1980s. That was in 1981. They remained married until his death in 2002. Henderson had five grandchildren. And this is more than what you've seen in the tragic. Henderson died on November 24th, 2016 at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, the same medical center that the Eazy-E was transferred to in early 1995 through March of '95. He got sick, with the HIV/AIDS virus. Then he died. He died from the virus. And then that was laced with pneumonia. Well, he was in his 30s. It was in his early 30s. He passed away. And he was like 30 years old when he died. But let me explain about Henderson again. She died on November 24th, 2016 at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, California, at the age of 82. She had been hospitalized the previous day. Well, before she died, she was working on this movie called Bad Grandmas. Bad Grandmas. That was later going to be aired on Tubi in 2017. You know what I mean? It's starring herself, the gun toting old woman who's sticking this insurance man up for something else. She's sticking him up with a pistol, getting ready to kill the insurance salesman. She played Mimi. I'm gonna watch that movie, but I'm not gonna do it because I had to go back. I had to go back to uh, getting that update that update file happening. Gotta get that update file of Cyberpunk 2077 handled. She was taking long to uh, to update, to be finished and downloaded. It's taking too long. That's why I had to turn off the game, turn off the PS4, and you know turn my TV off and go to bed this late. So I'm gonna deal with the Cyberpunk 2077 update file in a couple minutes. Right after I'm done with this live show based on this story. According to Caleb Pressman, who was Henderson's manager, she said that Henderson died of heart failure. Heart failure. 3 days before her death, Henderson Henderson had attended the recording of Dancing with the Stars to support her friend and former on-screen daughter, Maureen McCormick. Maureen McCormick, who played as Marsha Brady on the Brady Bunch. She's gonna get sick and tired of fucking flying footballs hitting her in the fucking nose by the time she gets inside. Yeah, it's like this. Barry and Christopher and Mike, they played as Greg, Peter and Bobby. They're talking about how Mike and Carol been making up the rules and told them, you know, well, Mike and Carol had to be Robert and Florence. Uh, they've been telling them like, there's no football playing in the house and all that. So, uh, even though then the football it hit Marsha, who had to be Marine, in the nose. It hit her right in the nose. Fucked her up, fucked her nose up. But yes, Henderson had attended the recording of the Dancing with the Stars show to support her friend and former on-screen television daughter, Maureen McCormick, who plays Marsha Brady, who was a contestant. Pressman stated that Henderson was not ill prior to her sudden hospitalization, and that of her death was a shock. She was cremated and her ashes interred at the Westwood Village Memorial Park Cemetery in Los Angeles. Later at the 33rd, there's the award stuff. There's some shit going on here with her going through all of it. At the 33rd annual Gracie Awards Gala, that was in 2008, long before she died, Henderson won an Individual Achievement Award and an Outstanding Host, information or entertainment for the Florence Henderson Show, which she named after herself. She won another Outstanding Host, Information or Entertainment at the 37th Annual Grace Awards Gala, that was in 2012, for co-hosting Good Food, Good Deeds. Oh, it's a quarter 16 mile. That was like a quarter 16 type mile. Was 11 16 mile 1.7 kilometers turf horse race for a 3-year-old and older fillies and mares born and bred in Indiana, held at the Indiana Grand Racing and Casino since 2004, is named in her honor, the Florence Henderson Stakes, on the Tuesday after Labor Day in September. This is all her accolades from the 70s all the way to the 2010s. So, Song of Norway, Shakes the Clown, Naked Gun 33rd, in the third, 33 in the third, the final insult, the Brady Bunch movie. Well, she played Grandma. So, for goodness sake, too, Holy Man, Get Bruce, Dickie Roberts, former child star. For heaven's sake, The Christmas Bunny, 50 Shades of Black, and Bad Grandmas. She played as the gun-toting woman named Mimi. The gun-toting old woman named Mimi. She was gonna stick up that insurance man, coerce him to, you know, to give her friend back her house and all that. So this was her last movie. That was already done. That was already done in 2017, and it was later released in 2017. So that was like in Florence Henderson's memory. It was the Florence Henderson's memory, but it's already dedicated to her. It was her last movie. But in television, she was in General Foods' 25th anniversary show, A Salute to Rogers and Hammerstein, I Spy, the United States Steel Hour, twice, Sing Along, Little Women. Tonight starring Jack Parr. To today's show, Password. Password, the Bell Telephone Hour, the Dean Martin Show, the Brady Bunch, as Carol Ann Tyler Martin Brady. That's a long ass name. The Love Boat is Monica Richardson. She plays by herself in the Muppet Show and the Paul Lindy Halloween special. The Brady Bunch hour in as that same character, the Carol Ann Tyler Martin Brady character. The Brady girls gets married as well as the Brady girls get married. Or had to be a TV reunion movie as the same character. The Love Boat as Annabelle Folker. Annabelle Folker. The Brady Brides as the Carol Ann Tyler Martin Brady character, same character. Police Squad. She plays the woman who got shot. Uh, Pyramid by herself. Alice as Sarah James. I think she had met uh the star of Alice, Linda Lavin. She plays Sarah James. Murder She Wrote is Maria Morgana. I think she have already met Angela Lansbury. Over the years. It's Gary Shandling's show. She played by herself. Very Brady Christmas as the Carol Ann Tyler Martin Brady character. The Bradys played the same character. She came back on Murder She Wrote as Patty Sue Diamond. Brady Mania. She hosted that show herself. Dave's World is Maggie. She played Flo Anderson on Roseanne. Yeah, the Suck Up or Shut Up episode. That episode's from the Roseanne show. I think Roseanne had known Florence since the Brady Bunch was canceled. So there's Fudge. She was seen as a character Muriel. She plays Muriel on it was Fudge. She played this Muriel character on this show called Fudge. She was in Caroline in the City. It was an old TV show. She played by herself as a guest. Our Generation as a guest by herself. She played Madeline on Ellen. She played by herself on Nightmare Ned and later today, Saturday Night Live, the SNL show, Saturday Night Live. It's been around since the 70s. Uh, King of Queens as Lily. She played by herself. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Wants to Be a Millionaire. That show. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? She played by herself on that show. She played the voice of Thelma in The Legend of the Candy Cane, and she played Betty on Moms on Strike. She played by herself with Whose Lines Anyway and Mrs. America pageant in the 26th annual Kennedy Center honors a celebration of the performing arts. The Brady Bunch 35th anniversary reunion special. This real life reality TV series. She played Mallory, Mastermind Casey on Lunatics Unleashed. She played by herself on the Ellen DeGeneres show. She played by herself on the Ellen DeGeneres show. Uh, as a guest. She was on her own show called the Florence Henderson Show. She hosted it for 52 episodes until it's gone, until it's canceled. She played Rose Olmsted on Ladies of the House. On Samantha Who, she played Loretta. She played by herself on WWE Raw as a guest host. Dancing with the Stars by herself. She played Barbara, the nanny, on the Cleveland Show. Aunt Jenny on the Handy Manny. Happily Divorced as Elizabeth. 30 Rock by herself. She played by herself on 30 Rock. On 30 Rock. Matchmaker Santa's Peggy. She's hosting this by her. She's hosting this on Who's Cooking with Florence Henderson, the cooking show. The trophy wife as Frances Harrison. She played by herself on a Rachel versus Guy Celebrity Cook-Off. She played Irma on Casey Undercover. Regina on the 11th. She played by herself on Chelsea. She played the grandmom on Sophia the First. There's all her stage stuff right here. There was Carousel, Wish You Were Here, Oklahoma, The Great Waltz, Fanny, Sound of Music, The Sound of Music, The Girl Who Came to Supper, The King and I, South Pacific, and Annie Get Your Gun. That's from the 1940s all the way to the 1970s, 1980s. So, see, the book had already came out. So nobody else even know what happened to the book. The book came out just as I knew of. She came out with a book in 2011. It's called Life Is Not a Stage. From Broadway Baby to a Lovely Lady and Beyond Center Street. She came out with a book in 2011. This is long before she died in 2016. But rest in peace to Florence Agnes Henderson. You know, we all love Florence Henderson, man. This woman is a sweet, sweet, adorable darling. She's like this sweet, adorable woman, man. She's OG. She's behind the Carol Brady character and everything. I mean, I adore this woman. This woman is like sweet and nice to people, man. Her co-stars, she was never confrontational. She was never confrontational like her late co-star Robert Reed was. She was never confrontational. She was being cool and calm and wanted to like being a mom figure. So she was never confrontational with Hope Juber and none of that shit. None of that. She'll never be confrontational with Hope Juber or none of that shit. Or Sherwood Schwartz. Sherwood adores this woman, you know what I mean, as far as she have already did. You know what I'm saying? She adored Sherwood. So Sherwood's son, Lloyd, you know what I mean? Daughter Hope. So she adores these people. So I'll explain all this here. The only person who had gone to a confrontation with Sherwood Schwartz is Florence Henderson's co-star Robert Reed. He got all confrontational with the creator. Nobody wants to be confrontational with the creator. You can't. Being confrontational towards the creator, that will get you in a lot of trouble when you do that. But rest in peace to Florence Agnes Henderson. You know, it's a memoriam of her. You know, it's what I wrote on. That's why I had to type this before I had to do this show. Uh, I wrote this before the show. I wrote in memoriam of Florence Agnes Henderson. Florence Agnes Henderson. February 14th, 1934. November 24th, 2016. Rest in peace, Florence Agnes Henderson.